Jewish man. That's where is Jacob? I think we lost him. Too much pressure. Oh, there he is. And then we have Aaron Nakamoto and Kingsley Edwards, the not crypto couple, founders of the biggest crypto meetup in Vegas and AnarchoVegas 2019, which is coming up in about 30 something days now, almost 40 days. The biggest crypto meetup in Vegas. Sorry about that. And yeah, you guys are doing a lot of stuff. You have a social media company that you're launching. So it's very exciting. I definitely want to hear more about it. And we have Anastasia, business manager and unofficial chief marketing chick of BYVault.com. And me, I've been doing crypto research and content creation for years and consulting and teaching people. And now we're doing a digital security education company. How are you guys doing today?
We're good.
Fantastic.
I'm king of the Anarchy world, so no complaints.
Yeah, I want a cool name like yours. I need to like redo my bio.
Myself.
Right on. So tell us about AnarchoVegas. What is it, and how did it happen?
So yeah, well, Aaron and I were discussing doing some sort of events, because we run the Las Vegas Bitcoin meetup, which, like you mentioned, is the largest meetup in Vegas here. Like what, 750?
No, like 780.
780 members. So not huge, but pretty good for Vegas. And so we were discussing like whether we want to do like a crypto conference. Like we were discussing that last year. And we went to Anarcho Poco, this year. This is our third year. And we wanted to, we figured, hey, why don't we kind of throw our other, another offshoot of Anarcho Poco.
Well, no, that was after, we made that decision after Anarchozona.
Oh yeah. And then, well, that also influenced it. Yeah. We went to Anarchozona as well. And it was a really, like intimate event. It was one day, like, 100, 120 people, something like that. But it was, really cool. So
as always, to hang out with like-minded people for a day.
Yeah.
It's like, yes.
Yeah. And, Sedona is beautiful. So we decided to Vegas is just kind of a perfect spot for throwing events. Obviously, we've thrown large events in both crypto and my previous company with esports. So we said, hey, let's just do it. We had like a little bit more than 3 months at the time.
Yeah, we had like 60 days.
And we figured, hey, let's do it at the day or, around Freedom Fest. So we picked a day. We had, a venue, and maybe we could get into that drama as well. What happened with our first venue, but yeah, so it's happening, and it's happening soon. So we're excited.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. What was that?
Freedom Fest has a lot of more libertarian light type of stuff. It's not really even though there are often a lot of anarchists there, but there's not really anything that's targeted towards anarchists. It's sort of empty for us, even though we enjoy going and networking and hanging out with people and seeing friends from past years and so on. But we wanted to create something that really appeals to our community.
Yeah, that's great. And do you know if they're even doing any crypto, or are they still kind of shy about it?
They're talking about doing some more crypto stuff.
Okay. Jeff Berwick mentioned that he's like on a few different stages talking about crypto.
Okay.
So I think that I think that they are trying to push a little bit more anarchist stuff. Maybe especially after maybe seeing that there's an anarchist event that same weekend. So I'm sure they'll want to stock up on more. But it seems that there are more crypto conversations.
Cool.
Yeah, and they've done crypto over the past few years. They've done a little bit on crypto, not very much, but they certainly have had women in Bitcoin or women in cryptocurrency, panels, and there are various different things that have a number of crypto sponsors over the years and so on. So they are friendly to crypto, but it's not a major topic of their conference yet.
It's not a focus for them. Well, you guys have an amazing, very impressive lineup for a conference that's so new. I mean, this is the first time you guys do AnarchoVegas, and you have G. Edward Griffin, Larkin Rose, Jeff Berwick, Ben Willis, Tron Black, who's the lead developer of Ravencoin. Ravencoin is a pretty interesting crypto that's come out in the past few months. They're very well backed by some OG libertarians, and there's always some interesting problems. Kerry Wedler. I mean, this is the anarchist kind of A team. So congratulations on that. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. What topics do you think are going to be covered? What do you think the conference is going to be focusing on as far as topics this time around?
So yeah, obviously we're going to cover crypto. We have a crypto panel.
Which one is on?
Yep, we have a media panel with Josh Sigurdson, Lukowski, Dan Dix,
Ford Fisher, Kerry Wedler.
Yeah, Ford Fisher. So, you know, talking about what's going on with like social media today and all the censorship and all this kind of stuff.
The main, our main focus is you know, not those, you know, those are the general topics, but our main focus of the conference overall is to give people information and inspire them to create things in their own lives, to actually think about how they can, you know, we believe in the free market and we believe in entrepreneurship and stuff like that. How can we as individuals empower ourselves to create things that create real freedom, tangible freedom in our lives? You know, whether it's through independent media or through, you know, cryptocurrency, through homeschooling, through whatever it is. What are the things that we can do as individuals, aside from all of the politics and philosophy and morality and all of that stuff? What can we actually do to create freedom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's always really, that I've always appreciated about the anarcho-capitalist crowd, is that they're, you know, beyond the philosophy and the politics of it and the morality of it, they're very focused on pragmatism and solutions, and which is why I think, you know, it's connected so well with crypto, right? Because crypto is an actual anchor that we can sort of build freedom on, right? And so yeah, that's very exciting. That, I mean, those are good topics.
Yeah, that's the main focus. And then, like you said, we have, you know, Larkin Rose. I'm not sure what Larkin, you know, we've seen many of his speeches, but those are always great. J. Edward Griffin, you know, is like the godfather of individualism and best-selling author, Creature of Jekyll Island.
I'm excited to hear David Rodriguez talk about homeschooling.
We're talking about that. So pragmatic approach to just peaceful parenting and all that. Jeff Ulrich will be there as well. So he always has kind of off the cuff kind of great speeches that are usually pretty funny.
Bo of the Fifth Column will be there too, Justin King.
Of the Fifth Column.
And he's a very practical person.
And this is his first, correct me if I'm wrong, yeah, this is like his first public appearance, right, Jakob?
Yeah, absolutely. As Bo of the Fifth Column, yeah.
What's his name?
Bo.
Oh yeah, Bo. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There's another journalist that I saw. He had a really cool picture. It's like sort of wearing like a full riot gear of sorts, or like defense gear. I guess it was one of those big protests in the States.
Ford,
yeah, Ford Fisher.
Yeah.
Oh, Ford's great.
And then the night before, we're also doing a Ross, free Ross events, and Lynn will be there as mother.
And she'll be giving a little speech.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right on.
And Vin Armani will be there too.
Oh yeah, Vin Armani will be sitting on the panel with you, Juan, and Kingsley.
Okay. Right on. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, and who else is on the crypto panel? Oh, Rodrigo Ambrisi. He is with Dash. I know he does a lot of things with Dash. He's actually created a couple of documentaries of him going down to Venezuela and implementing Dash as like a currency. He also has a point of sale system that's super cool. Like, I kind of just want one for myself just to have. But I really think that it kind of does push crypto forward. And it's not just Dash, it's other like currencies as well. So that's pretty neat. And I don't know, I the thing about our panel, like especially our crypto panel, is getting people who are really creating something and actually putting it into action.
It's like Cointext is a very interesting one, which it's, you know, just makes it so much more accessible to people.
Yeah, well, I mean, people's hesitation when they get into crypto is like, oh, what if they shut the power grid off? It's like, they won't too. You know, you don't need internet to send crypto over to someone.
That's fantastic. That's really great.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big question for people in the third world countries, right? Like, this has been a focus of crypto for a long time, but it's a lot harder over there than it is in the United States or Canada, even Mexico, right? Mexico has great internet. It's actually a very good banking system. So it's a little bit different, but that's very cool.
And it's quite a crypto community down here in Guadalajara too.
Yeah, it's actually impressive.
That's what I see. I see your guys' Instagram photos of you having like friends nights, and it's just like a big crypto community. I'm like, we go to Guadalajara and hang out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, I love that crypto can really bring people together, and it does. Crypto is really the answer for taking back our freedom, our financial freedom. So, I'm really excited about how crypto is going to play a part. And of course, we're accepting crypto for our tickets as well. I think we're accepting like a lot.
5,
Yeah,
6,
like a couple of them. But like the site that we use, like there are like 400 cryptocurrencies listed that you could use to pay.
Yeah, I think we're just taking some of the major ones, but
Yeah.
There's no point for us to start taking every single.
Yeah, like stable coins and like things like that.
We're not accepting Ripple.
Yeah,
Right.
fuck Ripple.
That's a conscious decision not to.
What about Dogecoin?
No, I don't think we're accepting Doge. We picked a couple. We picked kind of some of the major ones, just because of volatility. I mean, we're holding most of it in crypto of what we can. So.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
But then after the day after our conference on the 22nd is your guys' workshop. And can you tell our viewers, I'm like taking over the live stream, but can you tell your viewers what exactly like BYOV is and why you should come to your workshop?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, we're an education company. We're trying to teach people how to secure their digital assets online. I think this is a topic that we're not taught at schools. Universities don't generally teach digital security, and more and more people are building their reputations, their careers online, and we've seen a lot of attacks, especially people that use crypto, that can do like very real personal and professional damage, right? So I don't know if you guys heard, but like the past few weeks, there's a wave of like SIM swaps attacks, which people's phone numbers get sort of forwarded to the attacker, and then with that they can request the recovery to their emails, right? And then from there they go to the exchanges, and it's just disastrous. But it doesn't really stop at crypto. Like those people, some people have reported being blackmailed, right? Because they take over your email. Now they have all this personal information. All they have to do is start combing through it. They change the password, and now they can be like, okay, well, pay up, right, if you want it back. So it's as we kind of move into this digital economy, there's a lot of there's still a lot of security kind of questions and things, and this isn't a workshop that's focused on teaching engineers how to engineer better security. It's more on teaching users and the general public how to use the tools that are available, that are easy to use and actually quite secure or reasonably secure to protect their assets. And then from there, just in general, sort of best practices of crypto. A lot of people kind of go on Reddit and then start Googling things and then get half of the story from this guy and half of the story from that guy, and then set themselves up. And it turns out that they only had half the story, right? And so we're trying to build a kind of archive in a school of sorts where you can get the best content and just actively doing research and categorizing everything. So
Right.
And for beginners, there's just so much information out there that it's just impossible for them to sift through.
Yeah.
There's too much for them to learn in order to figure out what are the things that they even need to know and what are the things that they don't need to know.
Well,
Just
there
in
was
order
a
to differentiate between those two.
There was a 60-year-old man at my meetup, last meetup, and he like came with a bunch of printed papers, and he was like, I had like, what was it, like six Bitcoin, six Bitcoin in a blockchain.info wallet. And he's like, I know I shouldn't have done this, but I put my password and my private keys in a document and I saved it on my computer. He's like, and
Plain text, yeah.
He's like, and I have no idea where these Bitcoin went. And we looked at the paperwork, and that's the 6 Bitcoin were actually sent out of his wallet.
They sent it actually. It was multiple transactions out too, which is kind of interesting. But I know even like with this whole like this SIM hacking stuff, I don't know if you have any insight, because I think a lot of it was done on T-Mobile, right? This time around, was it?
I'm not sure exactly if all of them were in T-Mobile or most of them, but it's been an attack that's been going around for a while now. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure which company had the majority of those attacks, but there seems to have been a wave. Like I saw like maybe 6-7 reports in the past month. And then over the years, it's been a thing. Like I've known about this for 3 years. But yeah, there's nobody really doing very focused sort of education or communications about this. You'll see waves of it on crypto Twitter, but beyond that, you won't really hear about it.
Right, and you see waves of it when it's too late already.
Yeah.
Like there's been a huge exchange hack, and people don't realize that if your money's on the exchanges, then you don't really own it, and the withdrawals or deposits can be frozen at any time. You just don't know what you don't know. I think you walk into this industry and you get really excited, and you get your first Bitcoin or your first crypto, and you're kind of like in the community now, and you're meeting all these cool people, and then you never really think about the security ever again. So things like that come up. I was just working for Exodus for a little bit, and people lose their passwords, forget their private keys, take screenshots of them, just do all of these things, and then when it comes time to try to get their money out, they can't. And it's a lot better to just learn prior.
What'd you say, Jakob?
I said, especially when they're on an exchange rather than directly in control.
Yeah.
Yeah, but directly controlling your money comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot of challenges too. So you have to know both sides of the equation and kind of decide, exchanges are really great for when you're trading, right? But hardware wallets are obviously really great if you just want to put in a retirement fund or savings, or, pass your crypto on to your children one day.
Yeah, I mean, exchanges are fascinating because they're kind of like the gates, right? They're opening the gates, they're building bridges to the mainstream, and they're bringing a bunch of people in. But then when they get to the other side of the bridge, they're in this like walled garden that's controlled by the exchanges, right? And to me, the main goal of BYO Vault is to just carve a door through that walled garden and be in a hold ground and be like, yeah, if you want to exit, if you want to take the sovereign path, and if you want that freedom, here's how to do it. And that means making it easy and keeping it easy, right? I mean, it's not that hard to set up a Trezor for somebody that's relatively tech savvy, but then you can set it up with a passphrase, and then there's all kinds of other things you can do depending on how much money you have. And then that's only just like a hardware wallet, right? Keeping your online account safe alone is not arbitrary. People I find they're very disorganized in their digital life, and that makes them vulnerable, right? And so part of the effort that we're doing here is come up with ways to organize people's sort of digital data. And it's an education thing, though. They can do whatever they want with it.
That was me, like a couple of months ago when we first started talking about this, and he walked me through it and was like, okay, this is how you organize your life. I'm like, great. And now I'm doing so much better and like feel a lot safer, and it works.
How much the Be Your Own Vault course on Monday?
That's right. Yeah, it's going to be at 6 p.m. Yeah, 6 p.m. in Vegas, right after the conference. Want to make sure people can get to work.
That gives everyone an opportunity.
It's on Sunday after the conference.
It's on Monday. So it's on Monday at 6 p.m. because we wanted to give like the locals who like work all day to be able to have an opportunity to come and sit down and secure their assets.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll be going over some of the basics, and then giving you guys some, whoever comes, some bonuses and access to the group and stuff. So yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, and I know a lot of smart people that have been in crypto for years and years, and even like developers, where especially like the SIM hack stuff, like it affected them. So it's really important to just really think through strategy. A lot of paranoid people too who did a lot of the right things, but maybe not all of them. So it's a much needed service for both newcomers and crypto veterans.
Yeah, I know I'll be there. I always want to learn new security protocols.
Yeah, I'd be really curious to hear your feedback too. And I think that there's a lot to do, and one of the funny things about crypto is that there's a lot of paranoia, which is good, you know, just because you
There
don't
should
see,
be skepticism
Yeah.
going into cryptocurrency. There should be skepticism going into everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, what's the saying? Like, just because I'm paranoid doesn't mean they're not following me.
Right.
Yeah, and so part of our strategy and our philosophy is we focused on attacks that are obviously like there's empirical data for them and they've actually, you know, cost people money, right? And then move our way towards theoretical attacks. And then, but also just sort of, you know, industry standards that just need to be recommunicated and taught to new users. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really great companies and products out there that are working on these things, and it's just a matter of finding them and knowing how to use them.
Yeah, well, on that, like I saw that you guys recommend using Trezors over ledgers. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I think it's a tight competition, right? Like it's a very technical, difficult competition. I prefer Trezor because it's open source hardware, open source software. You know, they're really trying to be that. And today it's really hard to know where your hardware comes from. But a lot of these things are like technical details, right? Like Ledger is fairly good. I don't think I've heard of any, you know, major vulnerabilities on Ledger that are not sort of kind of understood, right? Like some of the FUD that's come out recently is like, if you capture a hardware wallet, there's ways that if you know how to do it, you can extract data from them, right? And it's like, yeah, these things are designed to protect you from digital threats. They're not designed to protect you from physical threats necessarily, even though they do raise the bar. And how much they raise the bar, you know, there's all kinds of things we could talk about there. But at the end of the day, if you have a hardware wallet and you set it up properly, you're way better off than pretty much every other storage alternative from an ease of use perspective and from just a general security perspective. Even setting up a paper wallet backup, which is still recommended for a lot of altcoins that don't have support in popular wallets. It's really hard to set up a paper wallet properly. It's not as easy as you think, and you have to print the paper and then what about the printer, and you know, it can be, it's not the worst, but hardware wallets are great. So.
Yeah, I had a guy who forgot to write down his password for a paper wallet, and he has the private key, he has all the other information, and he still can't get into it.
Yeah,
So
it's tragic.
that was really
Hopefully
sad.
there wasn't too much locked in there.
Well, I even just saw like a headline recently about Ledger saying that they're starting to track transactions or something. And I didn't really look into it. Might be fake news, but they're starting to track transactions and sell the information to third parties.
Right. I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
My sense of Ledger compared to Trezor is that they're more corporate. They don't have the same kind of grassroots crypto anarchy roots that Trezor does. We met a bunch of their team in Prague. We went last year for a couple of conferences in Prague, which is beautiful, by the way. I highly recommend it. It's a conference there called, is that your favorite?
Prague, yeah, totally my
Beautiful
favorite city. Yeah,
it's fantastic.
after Moscow, of course.
Right.
Your Russian roots.
Yeah. Did Putin pay you to say that?
Yeah. Inside job. It looks like Dana Martin just joined us. Hi, Dana.
Right on. Hey.
But sorry, what were you saying about Prague?
Yeah, and so they have a couple of conferences. Well, they have one big conference called Parallelipolis, and they have like a hackerspace there that's kind of like a 3-story building. They have a Bitcoin cafe, and they accept Bitcoin. And
they have a bar, and
yeah,
a whole dance floor, and all of these theater rooms. It's amazing. It's a really amazing space.
Oh, cool.
Nice. We'll have to try to hit that.
Wow.
Now, Portugal's the one with the decriminalized drugs, or?
In Amsterdam.
And they have they have their own anarchist event there too, right?
Oh yeah, Anarcho Portugal. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Oh, right. Portugal.
Should we talk about Amanda just joined us? Should we talk about Candles in the Dark?
Yeah.
Right.
Hi, Amanda. So Jakob, do you want to talk specifically about Candles in the Dark?
Yeah, I mean, Candles in the Dark is Larkin and Amanda do a 2-day seminar. It'll be Friday and Saturday. And they, one of the things that people have a lot of trouble with is communicating our ideas about, the non-aggression principle and morality and anarchism and you own yourself, communicating those ideas to people in a way that they can actually integrate it into their own thought process and understand it. And so, people have negative reaction to examining their own ideas oftentimes. So Larkin and Amanda developed a course that teaches you how to actually talk to people without interjecting yourself into it, and helping people go through a process of examining their own ideas and coming to a place where they can recognize they can recognize anarchism, or recognize that they own themselves, and recognize a a correct moral stance out of their own examination, out of their own ideas, without, it's not us pushing it onto them. And so it's actually a very good course. A lot of people have said many good things about it. I haven't done it myself yet.
We did
We
one
did.
day.
Yeah.
Or you did multiple days.
I did
yeah.
both days.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It kind of just helped me open my eyes a little bit to how I can communicate a little bit more effectively. So that I can't every argument I have on Facebook. So sometimes it's just better for me to just walk away before I walk away with a headache. So
and Candles in the Dark is designed for talking to people more in person rather than online, because it's very different interaction.
But it helped, honestly, like it really helped shape my communication style.
Yeah, I got a little sneak peek of it at Jackalope Festival last year. They did like a mini version, and I think it was really profound. Like I think just those small shifts in communication can like matter a lot, and they can do a lot for when you're meeting people, at the bar or at the mall or whatever. And you can actually talk to them and find common ground, and then figure out where they're not following their individuality, and instead of following some kind of collective, propaganda.
Definitely. And who better to do it than Larkin and Amanda?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I haven't taken it either, but from what I've heard about it, it seems like they're using a kind of Socratic method, and anything that questions are very neutral, right? I mean, if you ask the right questions, you'll find interesting answers, and that can't be. It's pretty hard to make that bad, So.
And when you ask people a question, it's this sort of thing like, instead of telling them, you're not telling them what to think. You're asking them about what they think. And so in order for them to explain themselves to you, they have to actually consider it in their own mind and put the thought together in order to explain it, right? Which forces them to examine it. You're not forcing them to examine it, but it's an internal force. It's an internal necessity, right?
That's what I did.
Also, if I ask you about yourself, people love to talk about themselves. If I ask you about yourself and, hey, what do you think about this? And tell me all about your thoughts. Yeah. People find that a lot easier to talk about,
Well, I put up a Facebook status this morning, and it's because I was watching Liberty Hangout with Caitlin Bennett from InfoWars. And basically my question to the world was, do you believe that, what was my question to the world? I forgot.
I don't know.
Do you believe that like challenging someone's beliefs is inappropriate? Like in a non-threatening way, do you believe that like challenging someone's beliefs really is an inappropriate thing to do? And the reason I asked that, because it struck such a chord with me, because that's what he did to me, as he previously stated. He like kept asking me in the beginning of my journey, like, why do you believe what you believe? Why are you an Obama supporter? Do you know what Obama has done? And I could not defend.
You believe I dated an Obama supporter?
No, God.
I'm pretty good at planting seeds.
If I was your friend, like if I was your friend when you started dating me, I would have told you to dump me like, immediately. But it's whatever. But anyway, so I think it's important to question people on their belief systems. Like Josh wrote a comment on my post and basically said, like, that's how the start of education grows. It makes you question and challenge yourself and your thinking. And if you can't defend your belief, then is it a belief in the first place?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Sterling joined us too. I don't think we mentioned his name actually.
Oh, hi. Oh, yeah. Sterling is moderating the crypto panel. Hi, Sterling.
I'm not sure if he left.
Oh.
But anyway, I saw him pop in always.
Anyway.
But yeah, so tickets are for Candles in the Dark, your guys' events, BYOB, and AnarchoVegas.com are all available on AnarchoVegas.com.
Yep, you just hit the button that says click it to buy a ticket, which I came up with and I thought it was really clever and cute. No one has commented on it. So please leave me your thoughts in the comments. Click it to buy a ticket. But yeah, so they're all available on our event chain site. And you know, like I've noticed some people have complained about our price point, but I don't know, like I think our price point's pretty fair. I think like $108 is pretty reasonable.
I haven't seen any complaints about the price point.
I've seen like one or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the anarcho-communists.
I know.
They just want everything for free.
I know, it's true.
I think it's like comes out to like $100 for just over $100 for a ticket.
Yeah.
Vegas is very cheap to get to.
Yeah,
and it's like I've spent like, you know, with the you know resort fee or whatever they call it, you know, downtown I spent like $45 a night, $50 a night downtown in you know hotels that are just as nice as anything that you'll see on the strip. So yeah, it's Sterling says price point is great. Yeah, I think so too.
I've thrown a conference before and it's expensive. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that you have to put together, and I also agree that I think the price point is fair.
Also, our price point
really important to us.
Our price point was set when we were at the D.
Yeah.
The place that we moved to is a little more expensive, like maybe double. It's gonna cost us about double. So yeah. But we're not changing it. I mean, well, prices are going up in a few days, but we're not really changing our price point.
Oh yeah. So that's another thing. Make sure to buy your tickets today.
Yeah, because prices go up on, I think we said $11.59 on the 21st of June. PM. So you have all day on the 21st to buy your ticket, and then right at midnight, the prices are going to increase a little bit. They're not going to do much, but.
So you also have your meetup, your next meetup on the 21st. And I saw some exciting news about that. Can you tell us?
Well, let me just say one more thing about price point. Amanda says, I miss when our Anarchapulco had a price point that was reasonable. And Anarchapulco's price point has gone up a lot. And then between travel and, you know, hotel and everything can be really expensive for a lot of people. And to get to Vegas, like we were saying earlier, to fly to Vegas, like, you know, it could be $100 round trip from LA, you know. Hotels are cheap, all of that stuff. So, you know, we think that a lot of people can find this much more accessible.
Yeah, agreed. But talking about our meetup, so we have the Las Vegas Bitcoin meetup on 7 p.m. on Friday the 21st. I'm actually going to be working with Crypto Space. It's that Bitcoin Cash Lounge. I know, Juan, don't yell at me. But it's a Bitcoin Cash Lounge.
And don't you say Bcash.
In San Pedro, and they're really nice, and so they actually just set up 2 crypto ATMs here in Las Vegas, and so I'm just going to be kind of just showing that a little attention, and we're going to give the first 20 people who show up each a crisp $10 fiat bill to put into the crypto machine and buy whichever cryptocurrency they fancy. So I think that their machine actually. It has Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Raven Coin, among a couple of others. I'm not sure, but those are the 3 I know that are on there.
And if we give you the fiat bill and you keep the fiat bill instead of buying crypto, then you're banned from the Las Vegas Bitcoin meetup and Anarcho Vegas.
And shunned. And you should buy Bitcoin, not financial advice.
But it's probably going to 100,000. Anyway.
So we're excited about that one. That's going to be good. We're also going to be offering a discount to BYOV workshop. And is the last opportunity you will get to get $20 off the BYOV price.
BYOV.
Yeah. And so.
What is the BYOV price? How much is that workshop?
It's $135 right now without discount.
Right. Okay. The
Which is
115
totally
is
reasonable anyway, but take $20 off anyway if you want to come to get a little discount there. So come to our meetup to get that discount.
Yeah. And we also have a 10% off discount for the AnarchoVegas tickets. So if you still haven't gotten yours, use BYO Vault as the promo code.
Heck yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be really fun. Are you guys going to dress up for the free Ross party? We're asking everyone to dress up as like roaring 20s.
Ooh, yes, absolutely.
I feel like you'd make a really hot flapper. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I was just telling him, I was like, I really want to go to a costume party. I used to go to costume parties in the US like every other week. And now in Mexico, I'm like, I need to wear my corset somewhere.
I have so much DDP gear, like neon and just crazy colors. That's awesome.
Well, you manifested that. So dress up for AnarchoVegas for the free Ross party. And then Juan, you have to dress up as like I know Yakov's gonna yell at me for this. It's not a gangster look for the 1920s, right?
Everybody wants me to dress like a gangster for some reason. I'll do it. I'll please the crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Wear baggy jeans down by your knees with your boxers showing, and like wear your.
I guess the 90s.
And a Bitcoin Cash chain.
Oh, not that gangster.
No. Before trail. I'm just kidding.
If you do wear a fedora, wear an actual fedora, not a trophy, please.
Right. Not a fake fedora. Okay. I'll figure something out.
Yeah.
I put a feather on it. Is that too much?
It's pretty simple for men.
I love it.
Does
anybody have any questions about AnarchoVegas?
Or any of the events?
Or any of the events happening? If you do have questions, just leave it in the live stream. We will answer you as they roll in. We'll be monitoring it.
Or you can reach out to Aaron at anarchovegas.com.
Oh, also, so going on that weekend is also Freedom Fest, like we mentioned earlier. So we'll be the day after Freedom Fest. But if you wanted to buy a Freedom Fest ticket and you're an AnarchoVegas attendee, Aaron, our discount code is AnarchoVegas. So there will be a discount on that, and I think it's I don't remember.
I just got an email from them today.
$350. The price is $350 if you buy using our code, I think.
Yeah, hold on. Let me make sure I get that.
And then we'll be selling tickets for Freedom Fest next year and a bunch of other conferences, including Acapulco and so on, at the event with a discount for that one day only. So we'll have a ticket set up for people. Yeah. So we'll have a table set up with some laptops, and you can go in and buy your ticket for Freedom Fest or Acapulco or Anacadelphia, etc., with a one day only discount.
So yeah,
our community is growing.
And it says it's $150 off the full rate of $695.
So that is $450.
That is $545.
Can we just talk about this
Oh,
comment?
Yeah, can you read it?
Are you guys seeing this comment about what Larkin said about Aaron?
Larkin says that Aaron looks like a really cute alien that did a pretty good job of mimicking a human being. No.
I don't even know how to take that.
That is a compliment.
I know you said it's a compliment, but what does that mean? I mean, I'll you know what? I'll just take it. I'll take it and run.
Aaron, he did say that you look really cute.
I'll take it.
Cute alien.
I guess it's the gray skin and the big eyes and the kidnapping people at 2 o'clock in the morning, particularly rednecks. And why are you always kidnapping rednecks?
It's a habit. I'm so sorry. It's just.
What does that make me? Does that make me an animal-human hybrid?
You? No, it's an alien lover.
There it goes.
An alien lover. Aw.
Is she a legal alien or an illegal alien? That's the real question.
Oof.
Like, I get not having borders, but like.
Well, where is the
Silver
extraterrestrial certification passport agency? You know, if you come from Mars, who do you appeal to? You have to like go, it's tricky.
Underground embassies.
Ooh. I wonder how much it costs to leave your home planet of Mars. I wonder if they tax you as much as the U.S. taxes the citizens to renounce your citizenship.
Intergalactic taxation. It's getting dark, man. It's getting really dark.
Yeah, you'll still be taxed if you're a U.S. citizen.
Speaking of crazy financial schemes, any thoughts on Facebook coin?
Oh, yeah.
Is it good? Is the end near? Is Skynet going to take over soon, or is it a flop?
Yeah, it seems like from what I've read, I don't know. I'm hoping, I mean, I think we all can agree that Facebook sucks. We probably just got kicked off the live stream right now. But as far as like, I hope that it's actually great. I doubt it. Like from everything I've read, it seems to be like they're partnering with a bunch of, financial firms and like Uber, and which is interesting, and some other Lyft, I think, bought like a note or something for $10 million. It's supposed to be based on like a basket of fiat, currency. So it just seems like a, kind of a new world order type of coin or something like that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, what they come up with. I'm not really expecting that much. I know I just read that their stock price, I didn't check it, but I read their stock price went up because of the announcement coming out this week. But we'll, I don't know.
But it's crazy.
What are they doing with it?
The investing companies into Libra is like PayPal and Lyft.
I think MasterCard, Visa, something. I don't know.
Yeah.
They have a lot of different industries in there.
Yeah, where's that image? We had an image, but yeah, there's a lot of people. They got Visa, MasterCard. Everybody gets $10 million. You get a node, which probably means you get full data mining access to everything. So imagine Facebook plus the most sophisticated financial tracking database technology ever invented, right? I could see some really dystopian things happening. The only thing that gives me hope is that they're Marxist and socialist, and they're just going to implode their own currency. I think they'll probably, they're saying it's going to be like a basket of goods, right? And that's going to support it. But I mean, it's just going to become it's going to become the first crypto fiat currency. It's not really crypto. It's a digital fiat currency. It's going to be a stable-ish. It's going to be floating against other currencies too. It's not going to be pegged to the dollar or to the euro. As far as I've heard, it's going to be more like it's going to have a basket of goods backing it, and then
Mercado Libre is on here.
Yeah, and then if Suck doesn't like you, then you shall be banned from society.
Yeah, I know that's the thing. So
Facebook, their target audience is supposed to be like, who do they expect to actually use it and what for?
Right. Well, I think probably everybody
or like whatever, like 5 different things, and then that's it. Like
I don't think so. Actually, I think I understand from a business perspective like where they're going, because actually we're building a social network. Then I think like we came up with a lot of these ideas last year, which I'm sure Facebook has been working on it as well. But
Facebook saw that we were in the works, and they were like,
yeah, well, I mean, probably they're probably hacking my computers and stuff. But so I think they're just, what they're doing is really they're creating, they're taking a social network and now making a payment network on top of it, which makes complete sense. And that's actually something that we're doing, except with Float. You can check us out. We're rolling out private beta codes at Float, flote.app right now, and we're supposed to launch publicly this month, so hopefully in the next week or two. We hit a few snags in development, but we're getting there, so it's close. But yeah, Floats, flote.app.
Cool, I'll check it out.
And so what we're doing is we're creating because Facebook coin. All my friends basically, I don't know how I haven't been thrown in Facebook jail yet.
Me either.
But Yakov gets thrown in Facebook jail like every day. And a lot of people that I know, they're like, oh, I got banned, I'm back for 30 days. Yeah, as soon as I get thrown in Facebook jail once, I'm not coming back, because it's just ridiculous, especially for obviously the reasons that people get thrown off. Like our friend Josh Sigurdson of Wham, he got banned for 3 days because he defended himself from like a psychopath that was like threatening to kill him. And he just said like, hey man, you should probably seek help. And then he like reported that message or something like that, and or that post, and he got taken off for 3 days.
And the guy who threatened to come to his house and like rip his head off or whatever, was fine. Like no repercussions at all.
Yeah. So
makes no sense.
So imagine that platform is now handling your finances too. Imagine, you doing the wrong thing or whatever, and they're just like, oh, you can't send, your Facebook coin or whatever, your Libra bucks. So what we're doing, we're basically creating a censorship resistant social network that has a payment network built on top that's all in crypto. We'll also be supporting stablecoins too, because we wanted to be attractive to people that kind of the more
don't quite understand cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
And want something a little bit more.
Stable coins. So they don't want to participate in the volatility, which is fine. I think most people will eventually get there, but we wanted to make it accessible to people that aren't necessarily friendly with crypto.
Oh wait, I just got an idea.
Yeah.
We should implement be your own vault as like a service to like help train.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what we're going to be doing too, because we'll have users. So content creators will be able to monetize basically all forms of their media. We actually just acquired Bitbacker. Do you guys know Bitbacker?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Bitbacker.io. So they're like a crypto Patreon alternative.
Yeah.
And so we have that where people can subscribe to content creators, fans can support them. All forms of media can be monetized: audio, video, live streaming. We have super chat functionality, and also users and merchants will be able to set up storefronts as well. So example, BYOB could sell your services for crypto.
Right. And
digitally.
I know Dan Dix also like sells merchandise, and VR Change sells merchandise on their website. Like they could open up a storefront and sell those things. Speaking of VR Change, this is Luke Rudowski of VR Change. He just logged on. Hi, Luke.
Yeah, Luke will be speaking at AnarchoVegas also.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Excellent. Yeah.
So we're excited about just that function. Me personally, I'm super excited about the super chat function, just because like when I watch my friends go live on YouTube and they get super chats, like I know YouTube is taking 30% of that super chat. So like we're going to be offering something very similar, but we're not going to take anywhere near what YouTube typically
Yeah,
does.
I mean, most of the services that we're offering are going to be actually free. So we're really trying to make everything peer-to-peer, just the way crypto is supposed to be.
That's awesome. You can run an ethical business, guys.
Yeah.
It's possible. You can do it, and you can still make a profit. And everyone should follow that model. You can be ethical, and you can be prosperous.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you see Facebook, I mean, they lost 15 million users over the last 2 years. Twitter lost 5 million.
Yeah.
So people, PewDiePie, he's starting to post content on DLive in protest because everyone's getting censored basically on YouTube. I just watched a video today where anybody who's even like center, as far as like the political
people
spectrum.
who aren't even political are getting like
I
watch ASMR. I know I'm one of those people that like but I watch ASMR and like they get shadow banned on and their like viewership gets fucked up and frozen, and it's like even these industries that are totally apolitical get screwed with by the man.
Yeah. So we have to come up with alternatives. Any entrepreneurs out there, and again, that's basically what AnarchoVegas, what the main thing is about. Like, hey, let's put our ideas into motion, and let's build products and technologies. Really, the best way.
And let's talk to each other. Let's communicate with each other and see how we can help one another instead of being at odds with each other and trying to like outdo each other.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, it's fantastic. I'm paying a lot of attention to
AnarchoVegas is to get people inspired to go out and create something.
Yeah, go out and build solutions. Like my friend Ash Orr says, build your freedom.
Yeah. I love Ash.
Yeah.
Great. I love him too. Although he's like crazy on the EOS stuff, and like I don't know too much about EOS. I don't know. Like when they announced Voice, I looked into it a little bit, and like I was really turned off by one particular thing, and that was you have to have a government ID to even start an account on Voice.
Crazy.
No.
Really?
On
Yeah.
iOS?
On EOS.
Yeah.
For Voice? Oh.
This is the
Their
Dan
social
Larimer,
media
the new, Steam.
And
Yeah.
and it was also like we need to create a platform that will not let other people bully each other. And it's like, or you could just be adults and like let people make the decision to not
Yeah.
bully each other.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you guys, but I started using Gab a little bit, and I like it. If I don't like somebody because they're racist or bigoted or just like dumb, I can just mute them. And there's no, I'm not trying to attack them. I'm just being like, I choose not to see this in my feed, and then I can move on with my life. And if everyone just did that,
you're being an adult on a social media platform. What?
I know, shocking.
Yeah.
That's a thing. No, but talk to them about our block list.
Yeah, I mean, we have like really customizable mutant block lists that are also shareable too. So you can come up with your crazy, block list of every single person, and you can actually share that list with other people. You can even sell that list if you want to. But yeah, and then you can even block out keywords and all this other stuff. So you can we're just bringing back censorship back to the individual and community level.
Yeah, that's the only way. Like right now, it seems to be all settled by like outrage mobs, so journalist X will start attacking or targeting a particular person and then rallying people, and then they'll have like mass flagging campaigns, and then the other guy will do the same, and it's a complete shit show. And breaking news, you can mute people,
Yeah. Internally, our team talks about like if people report people for stupid reasons, we're just going to kick the people off that report people. we'll censor them.
As anarchists, we want people to take personal responsibility in their lives.
Yeah.
Right? So the idea that just because I don't like something that you said means that people who do like what you said should be blocked from seeing you is sort of ridiculous, right?
Right.
And that's sort of how these top-down structures go. The thing with Float, you're trying to create a much more peer-to-peer free market type of structure based on a more real world experience, where it's like, if I don't like what people are saying in that coffee shop, I'll go and talk to people in a different coffee shop. Or if I don't like that community, I'll go join a different one.
Yeah, and just give people more options to kind of escalate their preferences, right? Like, having to go from seeing a person on your feed to blocking them. Obviously, that's not how most social networks work today, but it doesn't seem like the options in between of muting or blocking, or like on Facebook, Anastasia was teaching me that like if you unfollow somebody, Facebook will slowly sort of separate them from your network, so they stop showing up, like they stop seeing your feed. This is news to me. Like I would love to be educated about some of these different tools that we have, right? And I see a lot of alternatives rising to deal with this, the kind of the failures of Facebook and to some degree Twitter and definitely YouTube, and I'm really excited to see what comes up. I mean, I think the way that you guys described your solution to this sort of problem of what happens when people say crazy shit or things that trigger me or whatever, how to deal with that, and dealing with lists of like curated block lists and personalizing, just let people choose who they want to listen to and who don't. That's the only solution that doesn't escalate to complete censorship.
I mean, it's real life. Like you're walking down a sidewalk and someone's saying something racist or saying something that you don't like. What do? You walk away. You walk past them, and then
or you throw a milkshake on them.
Yeah, either one.
Or whatever.
Be a milkshake emoji.
Just their feet, and get dragged out by
milkshake emoji.
So it's just having the ability to just kind of do whatever you want. I mean, you have choice.
And not tinkering with like algorithms. Like Twitter is really bad. Well, now Facebook is bad too. But really, I mean, it's just dialing back the clock like 5 years. We didn't have all these issues, and and then really.
We have a real gun emoji and a water gun emoji. Sweet.
Yeah.
I don't even have the choice anymore. It has to be the water gun emoji.
No, we're bringing back the real gun emoji. We're gonna
maybe a couple different calibers,
Yeah, we're gonna have assault emojis. Yeah.
Speaking of that, did you guys hear that where we live in Las Vegas, Yakov, Josh, Kingsley, myself, but we just got a socialist governor into office because our state is turning blue, but he just passed the red flag gun laws into effect.
Oh no, that's terrible. I'm so sorry.
We
can still go to the range though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but anyone could like call the cops on you and tell them that you're going to hurt someone or yourself or you're going crazy, and they can legally show up and take your guns for 7 days, or they need like special permission to take it, I think, up to 30 days. So it's yeah, it's just, you know, insanity. All the Californians are moving to Nevada because it's cheaper, and they're ruining California, so they're coming here and now ruining Nevada, and Texas is getting, you know, hit by a lot of people that are moving as well.
I'm offended by that statement. I feel like as a Californian who moved here, I'm making Nevada.
Get out.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I moved to Mexico, and it's lovely here.
Nice. Are there a lot
Can
of
you bring your guns to Mexico?
I cannot, but
You can't if you're not a.
But it's Mexico. I mean, if you try hard enough, you can probably find them.
probably.
So,
But I don't know. We live in a lovely house with lovely people, and everyone I've met is very lovely. So I feel like I miss them. I miss them a lot, but I don't think it's as much of an issue as it was, you know, living in West Philly or something.
Do you have plans to move back to the States, or are you like permanently?
Maybe we'll see how it goes. I mean, like, I'm not completely ruling out the U.S., but honestly, it just feels so much less stifling here. And I feel like also energetically, all of that stuff is further away. So it's not pushing on my psyche. It's not making me like really mad at what's going on. And I don't know, it's just easier to handle it here when you're kind of away from the situation.
Here's the real question: when the U.S. goes to war with Russia, which side are you going to fight on?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, during the last couple of years of Obama, there was a couple of times where I got super wasted and cried about it, because I have all of my friends in America and I have my entire family in Russia, and the idea of the two countries that I was, you know, one I was born in, the other one I was basically raised in, going to war is just something that I don't even want to entertain. But it seems like Trump is a little bit less about war with Russia, so hopefully we're safe for another, you know, couple of years at least.
You just have to wipe out Iran first, and then
Right? Yeah. There's that too. But
Rough.
I don't know. I'm just hoping that we can build solutions and kind of turn it around, or at least give people a way out. I like with this Iran thing, at least I'm seeing that people aren't really buying the false
Yeah.
flag.
A lot of people, like, I'm very
the passports
surprised.
stolen by the Toyota.
I'm actually not sure if that's satire or if it's real.
What? The passports?
So they found Iranian passports floating.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
thought it was real too. I was like, oh my God, that's so stupid. Why would anybody do that?
No.
Like, oh my God, the government's so retarded.
Yeah, I wouldn't
do that
I wouldn't
twice.
be surprised.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think that we're building solutions faster than the government, which is inherently an inefficient organization, can keep up. You know, there's no real way for them to keep up with the free market, and the speed at which solutions are being created, not even by anarchists, you know, even by people who are statists. Like Uber is a solution to a government problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's not like the people that created it are anarchists, or Waze is it's a solution to a government problem, but it's not like the people that created it are anarchists. But
Yeah.
what's happening is that the technology is so beyond them in many ways that, you know, we can have totally encrypted communication, you know, peer-to-peer between us just on our phones, and peer-to-peer currencies, and, you know, we can report where there are cops when we're driving down the road and avoid speed traps, and all sorts of things where we can just circumvent the state completely.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that those things are individually, you know, spreading around the world, and then the types of solutions that are being created, you know, every day are just growing and growing, and also spreading around the world. You know,
And that's
that
the
can't really be put down.
that's the big thing about. That's the biggest thing about cryptocurrency. Like, regardless of the most exciting thing for, I would say, me and us probably, you know, regardless of the
Don't
price.
speak for me.
Regardless, sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Is the fact that regardless of the price, like I wouldn't even care if crypto stayed here or even went down. Like,
I'm
as long
hoping crypto goes down.
Well, yeah, so we can get some market on the
Yeah, I'm a bear too.
But you know, that's like the separation of currency and money from the state is a complete game changer.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to see so much just changes, you know, in the next decade or two. It's going to be it's I think the most exciting time to be alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all
Definitely.
this mindful technology that's coming out, it's really providing the solutions that I think we're all looking for. Like it's not coincidence that all of a sudden, people are finding out about this stuff and building these solutions, even people who aren't anarchists. Like we all see the problems.
Yeah, it's the internet changed the game fundamentally, and we're just seeing it slowly kind of adapt to these changes, right? Like before the internet, everything was sort of siloed out, right? Like every nation, the cultures were siloed, and now you can actually be of whatever culture you want wherever you are in the world, as long as you can speak the language, right? And language itself is kind of changing, right? I don't know if you noticed, there's new words that are starting to kind of bubble up, at least in the English language and probably in other languages. Memes are sort of, they're basically the street art of our age. And a lot of memes are, I don't know how local they are. They might actually be more transnational in a sense. So it's gonna take time, like society is a very, very big thing, very deep, right? Like I'm always surprised how long it takes for shit to hit the fan. And it's just gonna be a while for these giants to kind of bleed out and for the new things to rise, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the internet. Like it created a way for people to communicate, pretty much peer to peer. Obviously, we go through like intermediaries and these centralized authorities right now, but people are creating decentralized solutions even for the internet. Eventually we're gonna have hopefully your own satellite in the sky that's talking, as like a node to other people or transacting cryptocurrency, which we're already seeing. And now I feel like they opened up the Pandora's box, and that's why now they're like, oh, wait a second, we have to kind of bring everyone back in. So they're doing all this weird, censorship stuff that seems really coordinated with all these large tech companies that are getting, have been funded or are getting funding currently from governments. So it's just, just thank God that Satoshi, did what he did, and it took off, with kind of the libertarians and anarchists initially, and now it's becoming more and more mainstream. And I think that really the price speculation, like I used to actually kind of be against people that were just speculators in crypto, but now I'm like, you know what, I don't care, because those people, they get in, they see the price go, and they're like, oh, I got to buy some, and then they own it. And then they're like, oh, wait, then they start to like understand, like, oh, maybe there's more to this than just getting rich, which, that's just like a great factor about it.
Oh, wait, how do you guys feel about like all these crypto versus like blockchain conferences? Because I feel like there's a big difference, right? You have like the people who are very, very pro blockchain, but if you break it down to like a crypto anarchy kind of thing, they get very weird and off-put.
Mm-hmm. I think that they don't understand the security model fundamentally. There's a few benefits to a blockchain. One of them is that it's cryptographically authenticated. Everything that you do is cryptographically verifiable, and that's piece number one, which I doubt that Facebook will have. It's probably just going to be a kind of distributed ledger, fairly centralized with maybe 100 nodes. I think is what they're saying. I don't know how much public key cryptography they're going to be using. So it might be cryptographically verifiable, but it's not going to be publicly auditable, right? Like there might be like explorers that you can, browse certain data through publicly, maybe that some of these nodes launch, for example, but you're not able to verify the math yourself, right? I don't know to what degree you're going to be able to verify the accounting integrity of the money itself, which is one of the reasons that you want to be able to run a full node locally so that you can know how many units exist in the market and not trust some third party and their AWS servers, which may be shut down or censored or KYC. And so that's kind of like the things. Right now, there's a trade-off between decentralization and ease of use that seems to still happen, right? And I guess we'll see what Facebook does with that, right? I think it's going to be really interesting seeing how they run into some of the challenges that cryptos run into. But anyway, so blockchain, if your security model is not a proof of work or maybe possibly proof of stake model, then you're not really public, and what's the benefit? I'm not sure I get it. So, but I think one of the things that attracts people in the left about blockchain and some of the kind of old school sort of open internet engineers is the idea of being able to bring like open data and transparency to governments and to institutions. And hey, that sounds great. You know, if we can all see what the people with the most power are doing, then that puts a little bit of a check on them, right? So I think it really depends on what the argument is. There's also just like the FOMO, right? Like if you put, you know, in their fast bull market, if you put blockchain on your coffee corporation, the stock would go parabolic. Now it's like the opposite. If you put blockchain in your company, it just crashes, right? And so it was to some degree just like a stock game, right? So
Yeah.
I think a lot of those, you know, transparency and let's put this and that and the other on the blockchain things are really missing the point of what a blockchain is. Like you said, you know, for most of those things, a blockchain is like the worst possible way to do it. Like,
yeah,
you could use a data. If you could replace the word database, then just use a database, right?
Yeah.
yeah, that's very high basic.
Well, the cool part about blockchains is that they establish digital ownership, which is something that we've never had before. You can't go online and say, this is my digital, you know, piece of data. And with the blockchain, you can. This is my Bitcoin, right? So that's the really cool part about it. And currencies are just one application of it. You can apply this to, you know, songs or arts or books or whatever other kind of thing that you want to own in the virtual world. And I think with VR coming out and just the internet expanding more and more, like this technology is awesome, and it's going to be used for a lot of really fun things, and it might be used for really terrible things too.
Like anything.
Yeah, just like any technology could be used for good.
Yeah, exactly. But so I don't understand the whole crypto versus blockchain debate, because crypto is literally just one of the applications to digital ownership of something and the proof of digital ownership. Go build something else if you're not into currency.
Right.
As far as building things, like we'll have a lot of very interesting people. Let's say Sterling will be moderating the crypto panel at AnarchoVegas. Sterling just started something called WAM.
Pathfinders.
Pathfinder. He's he consults with people on how to engage in blockchains and that sort of thing in their businesses and to implement the future in their business model. You know, so if you're interested in coming and learning and creating, come and join us. There will be a lot of very interesting people that you can talk to and learn from.
Oh, we didn't talk about the brunch either.
Oh yeah. If you want to have lunch with them or brunch with them on Sunday.
Speakers.
With our speakers.
Yeah, we'll put tickets up on the 21st also. Yeah. So
Awesome.
I think we're only selling
20-ish, yeah.
20-ish seats to that. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that'll go quick. So we're just kind of letting people know ahead of time so that you can get ready to grab that. It's just first come, first serve, and when they're out, they're out.
Yeah. Except I'll be sitting at G. Edward Griffin's table because he's a badass.
He is. He's such a badass. I had the pleasure
And
of
if you slip
all of
Kingsley $50, you can sit at G. Edward Griffin's table.
No.
whatever. And Pedro and I are going to be at the bar sipping mimosas. So.
Maybe
Yes.
we actually got G. Edward Griffin. We were at his one of his houses in California last year, and we got him to sign Creature from Jekyll Island to our cat.
To your cat.
Yeah. They're like, she's an inner cat. She
Yeah,
like
she's
does
an
her own
inner
thing. G. Edward's like, I'm not signing a book over to a cat. And King's yeah.
Yeah.
But your cat's the cutest, so.
One thing a lot of people are asking us about is the venue, and so we're not saying where the venue is yet. Until buy a ticket, and then we'll let you know where it is. We're just trying to mitigate issues that we had with the other venue that kind of canceled on us last minute. So
yeah, do we want to talk on that really quick and just kind of go over what happened?
Yeah.
You guys know that story?
But
Yes.
the that we are in now is actually even nicer. It's a really cool venue, and we're actually really excited about it. And we're already talking about doing it again next year in the same place. It's just a really cool venue, much nicer than F. But yeah, so what happened was, what you want to start with? What happened with that phone call to you?
Yeah, so we had signed the contract.
Paid
like,
the deposit.
Paid the deposit. I think it was like May 1st, and then 13 days later, I got a call from the venue, and they were like, "I'm really sorry. This is out of my hands, but I got we got a call from Metro, and I think it was the FBI.
Metro PD.
Yeah, and FBI, and we got word that one of your speakers is on a terrorist watch list, and so we are not having this event at our hotel." And I was just like, kind of shocked. Like, we put down a deposit, we've had a contract for 13 days. You had time to do your due diligence and you chose not to do it. So, okay, like, you're canceling the event. Like, I was kind of shocked. So I hung up the phone. And then
She was thunderstruck.
Thunderstruck. Yeah, it was pretty, earth shattering. I mean, they canceled the event with like 40 something days or 50 something days before the event. And I was just like, fuck, what do I do now? And anyway, so that's when Yakov kind of got involved, and he had gone down to the venue after multiple.
Well, so I emailed them a bunch of times and called a bunch of times. They just weren't answering the phone. And I texted the sales director. Just no response from them whatsoever. So I just said, hey, I'll just jump in the car and drive down there.
And just to clarify, you weren't, it was just, we just wanted to know what happened exactly.
And if we could come back to the table and like renegotiate.
Yeah, because that was part of the contract. Like, it wasn't like Yakov was trying to be like, hey, he was just like, hey, can you let us know exactly what's going on so we can either figure it out or, I don't know.
Yeah, and a lot of people who know my online persona, think I'm kind of intense and all that. But in person, I'm actually very nice, and people that know me in person know that I'm very nice. And so I went down there very politely. This is a couple days after this sort of cancellation notice that they sent us, and I went up there and I knocked on the door, and someone came out and said, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And they were very nice. And I said, "Oh, I'm here to talk to Sasha, the sales director." And she goes, "Oh, well, let me get her," And so I waited outside in the hallway for a couple of minutes. And then she came out and she just kind of stonewalled me, just like, it's out of my hands. There's nothing I can do about it. And I'm just saying, well, I know we have a contract, and we're supposed to have some like good faith negotiation. Like, I'm really happy. I would be really happy to talk to you and hear what your concerns are, and maybe take off the offending speaker and whatever you guys need. We're happy to do whatever. And she goes, "Oh no, you can't talk to me. It's out of my hands. But you can talk to security about it." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And she goes, "Oh, well, security's coming up, so you can talk to them about it." And I said, "Oh, so you already called security before you even came out here and talked to me?" And she goes, "Well, it's out of my hands. You have to talk to security about it." And I said, "Well, okay. I get that you're just gonna have them escort me off the premises so I can see myself out. I don't need to be thrown out." It was just sort of a totally ridiculous and surreal experience that they would just out of the blue completely without any kind of discussion, just cancel on us. So again, we looked for another place. We kind of went dark for about a week, just scrambling to find some other place to do it. We were looking at different types of venues, looking for something. We said, if we can't find something cooler than what we have now, then we're just gonna regroup and do it again next year. And then we were lucky. We actually found someplace that's really cool. We're really happy with this place. As soon as we walked in, we just fell in love. It's just a spectacular venue. We're really happy to be there.
Right. Well, I'm really sorry that happened. That sounds like really, really shitty. I kind of do have to ask, who do you think is the person that's on the watch list, guys?
Oh, told us that.
What's on the watch list?
Oh, okay.
Let's do it.
Better question: who isn't on the watch list? And what do you call your life?
I get the dreaded SSSS on my fucking boarding passes, like literally almost every time I travel internationally. Like every time I go to AnarchoVegas, SSSS, every fucking time.
I think they just like feeling that.
But it's funny, the person that they said was on a terror watch list, of all of our speakers, like there are other people
like the nicest person
that would be more realistic to be on a terror watch list, It's just very silly. And he's, we talked to him and he goes, I don't know what they're talking about. I fly all over the place. I've never had
He's a voluntary terrorist.
Yeah. And he's the sweetest person, this the most non-violent person you can imagine.
Wow.
Pretty funny.
It's
Pretty
very
funny.
ridiculous. So
But
yeah,
anyway,
Sounds pretty sloppy work by the police there.
I mean,
well,
what
we
do
don't
you,
even know if that's what it
if I
was.
were the police, like I wouldn't want like a group of all of us together. Honestly, something that we're talking about for next year, 2020 AnarchoVegas, is like a First Amendment auditor workshop.
Mm.
So have you guys ever watched like First Amendment audits?
Like cop watch stuff.
So basically, like there are these cop watchers who go and they film and record, live stream the police, like any police encounters. And like they do that so they can hold them accountable. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the video that I shared a couple days ago, but it was like this family going into a dollar store and their kid like stole a doll out of a dollar store. And these did you see that?
Yeah. And the guy like pointing a gun at her face, like the
Yeah,
mom.
like pregnant woman holding her baby. The guy's like, get out of the car, get out. She's like, what do you want me to do? Like, my door doesn't open. I have to go around. I have a baby in my arms. And he's like, put your hands up. She's like, I'm holding a fucking child, you fucking retard.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, she was actually really nice.
Well, yeah, she was nice.
Yeah.
She was a lot nicer than I would have been. But it was just like, it was crazy. They were just, these cops were so hostile and just mean, and like, it's just like a total power trip, and it was fucking awful. And so that's the exact reason why we need cop watchers and First Amendment audits. We need to like be able to hold these people who think they have authority over us, who dress up in costumes.
Shiny badge.
Yeah, like we need to hold them accountable. So we are doing a First Amendment auditor panel for these people to come and teach you about your rights, how to film, cops without getting arrested or whatever. And it's gonna be good. I'm excited.
That's really useful and very practical.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have a couple of cop watchers coming to this year's event too. So we're excited about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've been going on for about an hour now. So before people start snoozing off, I think it's been a pretty good conversation. I think that was very interesting. Very interesting.
How do people nod off when there's all of us?
Those beautiful, smart people talking about.
Yeah.
I could go on.
Let's do it. Let's go on for another what?
Yeah, we'll turn into a Joe
Full marathon. Let's do a 24-hour.
Listen, if I can watch Alex Jones and Joe Rogan for 5 fucking hours, I can definitely listen to us.
Talking about interdimensional beings and
Let's do a
DMZ.
marathon.
Interdimensional aliens. We can talk about that.
I can't watch either of them,
No.
so there's that.
I feel like it's so fun if we could just like bring on like Larkin and Amanda and just keep chatting.
Do it. You want to share the link? You guys want to keep it going?
Yeah, Larkin and
Yeah.
Amanda, do you want to join us?
Do it. You guys got the link. Share it.
I'm leaving, but before I leave, people should go to anarchovegas.com
Yeah.
and click it to buy a ticket button and go and buy a ticket to the Be Your Own Vault workshop on Monday, AnarchoVegas on Sunday, and if you want to also learn how to talk to statists, the Candles in the Dark seminar on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, okay. We won't go for another 2 hours with Larkin and Amanda, but everything he said, and we're excited. I can't wait to see you guys. When are you guys coming down?
We're coming in on the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
So we're gonna have a bunch of days. I know you guys are gonna be super busy, but definitely range time.
Yes.
Like
Range
cool
time.
off and get ready for all of the fun events, and then into the weekend.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm at this down. I'm sharing the link. It's happening.
Oh no! Share the link. We can see this if this works. This is gonna be fun. Although this like ring light's making me super hot. I feel like I'm
Is it?
dying.
I'm sweating.
Yeah. Need to dripping down. Yeah, I'll stay on just a few more minutes.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't really add anything, but.
Yeah, I know.
It's right. All our Eric's friends love talking online, so I'm sure we can rotate. Take turns, shifts.
David Rodriguez wants it too.
Hi, David Rodriguez. This is just gonna be the AnarchoVegas speaker chat, I guess. Jakob, can you please unbutton 2 buttons on your shirt?
Saying earlier.
Yeah, and put up a QR code, and then the more
see
people tip you, the more you unbutton it.
You see my Google.
Surprise! This is now Spank Chain.
There's apparently a Bitcoin ball gag on.
Yeah. I just saw that. You shared it.
I just ordered it.
God, for him.
Are you in that group, Anastasia?
Yes.
Yeah, my friend Matt started that group. I hope he comes. Actually, I hope he comes to AnarchoVegas. I'm gonna harass him.
He's not for sure coming.
I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a little while.
What group is this?
I think he got quasi banned off Facebook somehow or something.
But why do people come back? That's my question. If you have been banned on Facebook, please let me know why you have come back.
Because I'll tell you why. Because our whole network is there. Like all of my friends are there. I met so many amazing people around the world in libertarian and anarchist circles in the last couple of years that, like, even though I really want to leave Facebook, I don't want to lose touch like with all of these people. So until we like have a solution and we can all move over there, I just don't really see it happening.
Yeah,
The problem with the social network is that network effect is the most important thing. Having all of your friends and family and all those people on there that you're connecting with, that's what creates the value. You can go.
Which is why Bitcoin's king.
Yeah, and you might have a much better platform, like as far as features and everything, but if you don't have the people, you don't actually have the social network.
Right.
Well, soon we'll all be banned from them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So go to Float. Bring your friends, bring your family. You can leave grandma on Facebook if you want, but you can check in with her once a month.
My dad's on Facebook apparently, so he has 2 friends on Facebook, me and my brother.
Nice.
It's so cute.
Yeah, he'll randomly pop in on stuff and comment, and he's like, "Oh yeah, and buy Bitcoin," and stuff like that.
Wait, did anybody send Amanda the link?
I did. I sent her the link. I don't know if she got it but she should have gotten it. She just might have to going to I don't know. I sent it to her.
Okay.
My dad got on Facebook for the first time probably about 6 or 8 months ago or something like that, and literally got banned 3 days later because he trolls and posts political memes in Russian.
Wow.
Yeah. And he used strong language, so I think he got reported a couple of times, and then it was just like 3 days, 30 days.
Wow. Yeah, because you get a 3-day.
Anastasia, have you ever been banned?
Only for not using a real name, which they then messed up anyway. My last name's actually my middle name on Facebook.
Yeah, my name's not real either. I have never experienced that.
Well, I'm pretty sure somebody reported me for having a fake name, which is why they were like, you have to send in your ID and all of this stuff. And I fought against it for a couple of days, and then I was like, I really miss my friends, so I just sent them the stupid picture.
Why would anyone report you for having not your real name?
I'm gonna report you.
I'm gonna report you, bitch.
I don't know. I remember Facebook days when you used to be able to change your name every couple of days, and all of my friends made up these funny names that they would change all the time, and we just had so much fun with it. And then Facebook was like, sorry, you guys can't have fun anymore. You have to use your real name, and just completely stopped us from doing it. And I was like, what the hell? And that was really the beginning of the downfall, I'm pretty sure.
Well, and names are not real anyways, it's just your government issued name, right?
Slave name.
Yeah. Who decides what your name is?
Right?
It's
so a lot of people have.
Is it really your name if you can't change it?
Right.
Someone just recently told me that the fact that I have the audacity to use the word slave in a sentence is really telling about the kind of person that I am.
She's been called racist 3 times.
So many times. Actually, can you show the camera over here?
Those are really funny insults because they don't actually have any content. It's like the way you use your shoes is very telling about the kind of person you are. It's like, should be a compliment,
I got so upset that someone called me a racist And I don't know why I got upset, but it bothered me. So I came in here and I was bugging Kingsley when he was playing video games, and I left him with this message.
I'm not a fucking racist. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even touch the race issue, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what a racist would say.
That's exactly what a racist would say. And I've heard you say some pretty racist.
I've heard you say some racist stuff.
It's only towards you.
About who?
English people?
About Jews? I'm Jewish. I get a free pass on that one.
It's a free pass.
I don't say racist things about Russians.
Thank you. Everybody else does. So there's that.
Anastasia, can I tell you a story? So remember when we were in Miami and we were at the wharf?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Anastasia, is it safe to like walk from here to like this party? And you're like, oh yeah, I walked it last night at like 11 o'clock p.m. It's totally safe. So I'm like walking with myself and like Josh and a couple of others. And I was like, Anastasia said it's totally safe. She walked it by herself. She's a badass. Like she walked it by herself. And Josh is like, okay, cool. So we're walking and it's like the worst neighborhood ever. And
Josh is just peeing his pants.
Josh looks at me and he goes, of course Anastasia said that. She lives in Russia.
It was fine. And it was 3 a.m. and it was fine. And only one guy on a bicycle passed me and like made a pass. And that was really the end of that conversation.
No, it was crazy. It was like it was not the safest environment that I walked through for sure. But the fact that like everyone I was with was like, oh, you know, this is like they were freaking out. They're like, this is really bad. Like I can't believe Anastasia walked this alone. And it was hilarious. So funny. My dad's watching. Hi, Dad.
Hey.
Belated Father's Day.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day, yeah.
Anyway, all right. So are we doing this thing? Amanda says,
Where's Amanda? Somebody poke Amanda, see if she can figure out, find the link, or send her the link.
how do we
Or
bring someone onto the? Oh wait, this is Facebook
yeah,
Live,
just
right?
send her the Zoom link.
Amanda, where does the link show up?
It's I posted it in the messenger chat,
Like a personal.
and I sent it to her personally. Just tell her to check a message I sent her.
Check your messages, Amanda.
What's happening with the link? What's the deal?
We just gotta get it to Amanda so she'll click it and join us.
The Zoom link.
Oh, God, okay.
Amanda, come on.
Wow.
It's
I'm
usually
probably buried in her messages, like way down. I'm just like, she's probably like, who swung out?
I got it. Amanda Rockwood. I could not say her last name for the longest time. And then she finally told me how to say it. And now I sing that song, lean with it, rock with it. You know, and it just
That's great.
okay. So Amanda, I just sent you the link. So you just hit the button where it says join Zoom meeting. Yeah. And I think Larkin's there too, so we'll be able to talk to the voluntary
Oh boy.
chair himself. Good stuff.
I just sent the link too. Let's all just spam her the link.
What are you doing today?
What am
for
I
the
doing
rest of
today?
the day? Yeah.
It's 6:32 p.m. Bedtime
Yeah,
is in
no,
like 2.5 hours.
you're just hanging out at home.
What am I doing? I don't know. Today's Monday.
Oh yeah.
Not like it's. I don't know. It's not the most interesting day in the week.
I mean,
am I
all
doing
the
today?
people blend together.
All right,
What?
They're coming.
You wanna-
Yeah.
you wanna go, oh, Josh isn't in town. You guys want to
Josh
go to
is
Red
not.
Rock?
Josh is not in town.
Yeah.
Like Yard House?
I mean, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Just
Maybe.
like
We had a full chat over here. Oh my god, we had like a full chat on YouTube and I didn't even notice it. Isabel says, thank you so much. We all should learn to be our own vault. We got a what's up from Michael Haley. Isabel's all over it. That's awesome. Let's see. Oh, I like how YouTube is hiding a bunch of comments. Censored our our
Wow.
messenger guy. Yeah, because they're I
They
guess
sent
their
her
website.
our website links.
Both of our websites, but you just gotta click the show button, which is.
We were talking so much shit about them. I did not even know we were like going live on YouTube. It says Larkin and Amanda are joined, but they don't see it.
Isabel says thank you. It used to be good. I used to get like a couple thousand views, 3,000 views a video. Now it's just if I break 200, I'm lucky. It's just crazy. I really don't feel like publishing anything now.
Yeah.
On YouTube anyway. Facebook's a little better.
How are you guys?
Someone has the live stream playing in the background.
I think they hopped off. I only see 4 boxes.
Oh, yeah, I just saw that.
Oh,
There they are. Do you guys have video, audio?
I'll tell you, before I move to Arizona, they need to get their Wi-Fi figured out.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh,
I have pretty good Wi-Fi in Arizona.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You did live in Arizona for a while.
Yeah.
Honestly, we were looking at moving to Sedona because it's so beautiful, but it's so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But man, like there are a ton of anarchists there. There's Tim Pachot, Ernie Hancock. I know you were there, Amanda. Like a bunch more.
The whole Jackalope Festival crew, they're awesome. They're actually like they're just living their life as voluntarists and providing services and products to each other and growing food and doing amazing things. And then they get together in Jackalope, and it's this whole entire festival that's just randomly self-organized by all the people who want to contribute. And I went last year, and there was like these little kids selling small juice boxes for like 35 cents. And I'm like, how do you not buy a juice box from a little kid who's like, being an entrepreneur? And it's just amazing. And all of them like help each other out, and they get together and they do potlucks, and yeah.
I love that. When is that happening? When is Jackalope this year?
I do not remember the dates, but it's coming up. I think it's usually in August or September.
You know who the organizer is? Because I'd love to sell tickets to their event.
There are no tickets. There is no organizer, and it's free.
Okay. That's awesome. I feel like King and I definitely want to go. So we've never been to Pork Fest, and we really wanted to go this year, but it's too close to AnarchoVegas. Like we just couldn't make it out there. And the thing is that we're just talking recently about Jackalope, but I mean, we had no idea that it was free and that there was no organizers.
Yeah,
okay.
you just come in and you with your tent and your car and your goods and whatever else you want to bring and the things that you want to contribute to the community. And there's usually a whiteboard. They have a Jackalope Freedom Festival page on Facebook, which is where they post the event information and stuff.
Okay, I'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
No, it's sort of like unconference.
Come in and there's a whiteboard and just write in the time and what you want to, give to the community. If you want to sing or dance or do candles in the dark, then that's what you do.
Where in Arizona is this?
It's like, I want to say it's like an hour north of Phoenix, maybe 2 hours north of Phoenix. It's in the middle of the woods, up in like northern Arizona.
Yeah,
I think they just post like the GPS coordinates and you just make your own way there.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
King and I we were talking this morning, and he was saying how he wants to like eventually have like his own farm.
Mm-hmm.
There she is.
Oh, hello.
She does not look happy. Look at her.
I can't see her.
Oh, there she is.
I can't see anything.
There we go.
Yay!
All right.
Yay!
There we go. Okay. There we go. Weird.
Gentlemen.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Really good.
Yeah. Lightly toasty. Arizona.
Yep. It's warm here.
Yeah, it's like 100 degrees here today. It's like rough. I can only imagine how it is in Arizona.
Actually, I don't think we're that bad.
It's only 94 here.
Oh,
Wait, are they
really?
hotter there right there? Are you hotter?
Yeah.
It's hotter there than in Phoenix today?
It's only 94 here.
Are you hotter than Amanda?
I am.
Yakov is if he does his buttons, undoes his buttons.
Yeah. But
Fine.
Oh, here we go.
Anarchy, do it, man.
Look at my.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's getting out of here.
Yakov.
let down. Sorry.
Well, I'm excited
Sorry.
for all of you guys to come into town for AnarchoVegas, and it's just gonna be such a blast hanging out with you guys again. I got to hang out with you, Amanda and Larkin, for very, very briefly at Anarchozona, and yeah, it's gonna be super fun to have you guys here.
I can't wait. I'm so freaking excited because you guys are like, well, all of you guys are like some of my favorite freaking people.
Oh.
I haven't got to, I don't know if I've actually gotten to chat with Juan though. Like,
Yeah.
I've gotten to talk to. Like, I've seen you around forever. I know we've been in the same place probably at the same time multiple times, and then we've just never talked. But,
yeah, we haven't actually hung out too much. Yeah, but obviously I know about you guys, and yeah, I've seen you around a bit. Guess we'll get a chance in a couple in 5 weeks.
Yep, Vegas style.
Yeah.
Vegas,
Let's
I
go
mean, a
shooting,
pool party,
yeah.
right? There's gonna be a pool party. That's the thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Right. I'm like, there better be water.
July, pools 100%. It needs to happen. But Larkin, are you going to be bringing the most dangerous superstition and your new book? What's it called?
Parasites on Parade is the new one. I don't actually have it because it's print on demand. I may like order a bunch of my own book and then sell it for there for slightly more.
Sell it for slightly more, or you could just you could order one for yourself and use it as a promo there for people to immediately order when they see it. Like they could like go, oh, that's your book. That's what it looks like. Oh, here, and then like order it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if Yakov told you this, but we do have a table for you guys to sell books and merch and things like that. So
Cool. I will have some. With any luck, I'll have a huge ass pile. We are in the process of doing a 40,000 copy printing, but I don't know how long it's going to take for the printers to actually do that and get them back to us. So I may have like a few dozen, or I may have a few zillion.
It just depends.
And you don't have the best luck when it comes to USPS, right? Do you want to tell your story on that?
Yeah, but in that case, they're not the problem. This is because when the printers do it, they send a whole freaking truck because 40,000 bucks is like half a truck.
Do you have a story on that?
What? Oh, yeah.
Do you have a story to tell about that? Because
dozens.
some people haven't heard that.
Dozens of
They've
stories.
literally stolen and or lost entire cases of books that showed up empty, like whole cases, like an entire full box of books just showing up.
I mean, I can't imagine the government would be super happy to have an entire USPS truck just filled with the most dangerous superstition. Like that is the funniest, freakiest goals.
Wow.
I love that book. I'm excited. I really love the most dangerous superstition, so I'm stoked to read Parasites on Parade. Can you give us like a brief synopsis of what it's about?
Actually, luckily they use private shippers.
Getting a little choppy there, Larkin. Let's see. Just give it a second.
Private shippers when they send out the whole thing. Sorry. Whoops, we're slightly glitching out here. But I will see how many copies I have by then to bring out with me.
Cool. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Unstable connection, it says.
Because we're unstable. Yeah.
No,
Okay,
actually,
so
we're sharing
Arizona
Wi-Fi
has great
with
fun love,
a few
but do they
teenagers,
have
which
good
is why,
Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
You didn't exactly plan to be on this.
That's true.
Government interference.
Really impromptu. I know I have like no makeup on.
Neither do I. Neither does Anastasia.
Neither do I, yeah. It's just so impromptu.
For the no bra, no makeup.
That's right.
That's our movement.
Yeah.
Are we good? Are we live? Are we all
They
live?
seem a little frozen. Hang on.
They look frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's colder in Arizona than we thought.
Okay, they're back.
They're back.
Yeah, they have signals a little weak.
They're back, but they're moving very slowly.
Yeah, that's right. You gotta make sure
Yeah.
don't lose them out of sight. Well,
Maybe
There they are.
they're back. Yeah.
fighting a bunch of teenagers for bandwidth, so this may be slightly doomed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Competing with Fortnite.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
I have no idea where Kingsley went. I'm like, probably left. He was probably just like, Lark and Amanda, come on, I'm out. I'm done. He likes you guys.
Running for the hills.
He probably just had a sudden bathroom emergency.
Yeah. Like he fell in. But Juan, can you tell us a little bit? Like, I know that you have BYOV, but do you have anything else going on?
Well, I'm actually actively working to have less going on so that I can focus on BYO Evolve, because I'm the kind of guy that's very creative and has a lot of ideas and does a lot of things and ends up overwhelmed by all the things that I have to do. So right now, BYO Evolve is the primary thing that I do. I mean, I have a Twitter account that's I'm pretty active on, and I have a Telegram channel that I'm trying to grow, and but I think BYO Evolve is the primary thing. I mean, we do consulting. Anastasia and I both do consulting. I've been doing consulting in crypto for like 5 years. So basically, anything that you want to talk about in crypto, I can probably teach you quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, aside from that, I'm always open to help people navigate the space, and that's I just mostly focus on crypto. It seems to me like a pretty good place to sort of hold ground and try to keep it pure and just move forward. So that's just been my thinking the whole time. But I think that's it. That's pretty much what I'm doing right now.
We have our phone huddle.
Oh yeah, we have the phone huddle.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can show it to you. It's gonna be a little bit dark, but let me see.
That's okay.
And we wanna come up with like other really cool merch for people to become more secure in all of the different ways.
Yeah, we have big plans for BYO Vault. I think there's a lot of services that we can offer people that will help them sort of be more stable, have more options in their finance as we move forward. So this is the phone huddle. So it's this thing right here, which you can attach it to like your leather buckle, right? Like or to your pants or your bag or whatever you want. And then it has like a yo-yo string of sorts. So it'll protect your phone from falling off your pocket, or if you're getting off a cab and how many people lose phones like that, or you're doing something false and it cracks or ends up in the toilet or whatever. Phone huddle's got your back.
Yeah.
I think Kingsley needs to buy that for me, because the one question that I constantly ask him that he can't stand, he'll look at me and he'll be like, "You lost your phone again."
Yeah. They're like $500. People lose them all the time. Like $500 basic, right? If you have a normal phone. And they have all this data in them. They have crypto in them. They're worth, all this money. And we don't really have a great sort of stylish ways to protect them. And so that's kind of the goal with Phone Huddle, which will be kind of like launching a website soon about it. And we'll definitely bring some to AnarchoVegas so people can have a look and try them out. They were a success in Anarcho. I sold I think 30 of them, and in in the few days over there and stuff. So people are pretty, people like them. So that's one thing. We're thinking a lot about security and security services and tools and technologies. In general, I'm just fascinated by anything that's all the censorship stuff and all the social media stuff that's happening is something I pay a lot of attention to, and I've been seeing it for a while. So, I just kind of got my eyes open, but I'm kind of quiet. So
I'm curious though. Okay, so I'm gonna Jeff Berwick you for a second, in the best way.
Please.
How did you become an anarchist?
Right. So I was actually, you definitely Berwick me right there. I actually have a TDV or like an anarcho. What's Berwick's show? Anarchist. Jesus Christ. You put me on the spotlight here. I actually have an anarchist show with Berwick from must have been 2016, where we talked a little bit about my backstory too, and he asked me the same question. But I started when I was 18. I was in high school, and I never cared about politics, right? Never cared about religion that much. I was basically agnostic to everything. And I figured, well, okay, I'm gonna be going out into the real world soon. I might as well figure out learn a little bit about politics. So I took a politics class, and in this politics class, the teacher was like, okay, everybody is gonna get one assignment, like you're going to be assigned a particular topic about politics, about a political ideology, and you have to come back and present it. And the roll of the dice, the fate of the cards, to be a bit dramatic, was I had to make a presentation about Somalia. And that was around the time that Somalia had broken up into anarchy and stuff, and it was total chaos, and all the media was coming out about it. So I started doing research about it, and like a few videos deep, I ran into a video by Stefan Molyneux, and being an 18-year-old kid, just deep down the rabbit hole I went, and that was kind of my introduction to libertarianism and everything, and a lot of that was how I woke up. And then I ended up going to like Pork Fest. I went to Pork Fest a few times, and then started kind of getting into crypto. And around 2014, I got on into crypto really a lot more seriously. And then I went to Acapulco. I think towards I guess when Bitcoin hit like $1,000 started going down. That's when I moved to Mexico. So yeah,
Nice.
and I moved to Acapulco, and I was one of the first in Acapulco. Into Acapulco. I think I've been to all the Acapulco conferences, and there was like 5 people in Acapulco when I got there, and there was not even a meetup. We didn't even know we existed, and so I think somebody started a meetup on Facebook, and then we started going. I think it might have been Michael, or I reached out to Michael, and we started something. Not exactly, I don't remember exactly how it went, but we started going to this meetup, and then kind of it grew a little bit, and then it. Anyway.
It grew a lot.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, how about you, Larkin? What's your story?
For those who haven't heard it before, I was raised like conservative, Republican-ish, sort of libertarian constitutionalist. And weird thing is I didn't actually know any anarchists, and nobody talked me into it. It was mostly a matter of arguing with other people, almost all of them wanting more government than I did, but wanting to be consistent in my position, and realizing, if I'm complaining about them, wanting this and this and this authoritarian garbage, for me to say, yeah, but when it comes to police and military, that's okay to tax you for that. I was like, yeah, it's not really consistent. So I accidentally got there by basically whittling government down to something that was actually moral and rational and wasn't government anymore. And I realized it doesn't have any extra power. It's just sort of people organizing to do things that people have the right to do. Doesn't have a monopoly, doesn't have power, can't tax, can't legislate, doesn't have jurisdiction, doesn't have anything. And then I just sort of figured out, oops, that kind of makes me an anarchist accidentally, because it can't be legitimate. It's not even a matter of, I think A will work better than B. It's like A can't ever be morally legitimate, so B is what there is.
So you became an anarchist in 1996 then?
96. Yep.
And then started arguing with people as Ragnar in 1996 in AOL chat rooms.
Yep.
Oh, I miss those days.
AOL. And back when people still Yahoo'd for information.
Do you guys remember Dogpile?
Vaguely.
I've heard of it. I remember the name, but
It's like it was a search engine.
Yeah.
Really?
Remember it.
I don't remember.
I don't know. It was popular enough. Kind of an unfortunate name, but if that could get popular, literally anything can. So.
It is an unfortunate name. I don't know if I used it. I might have.
Medieval days.
Right. Yeah, it's
Larkin, I think I've been an anarchist as long as you have. Although I don't know if I had that.
Whoa.
Oh yeah. Now we'll have to fight over it and see if we can find an exact date.
What's funny is you wrote a thing. He wrote like an essay thing around that time, like right before he realized he was an anarchist, where he wrote an essay called like "The God Called Government."
The God Called Government.
And he said it's like one of the most. He said it would be funny for people who've read his stuff now, who've read The Most Dangerous Superstition, to read that, because it's like the very tail end of the last vestiges of his cognitive dissonance, not quite giving up. Like he was all the way there, but he had failed to quite see that, like he was basically describing not a government. And so like he hadn't quite seen it yet. And he's like, this is so funny because this is literally The God Called Government I wrote when I was like 99.
I've been meaning to do that every once in a while. because I'm totally proud and totally ashamed of it at the same time, because I got tons of stuff right and then just couldn't put one and one together to come up with two. So I was still trying to justify government and a monopoly of something, but I should totally post it as an example of the cognitive dissonance that, you know, minarchists are still hanging on to. I should just like
slavery
bite the bullet and like, yeah, I was like had this stuff and had everything I needed to like logically show that government's bogus, and then still tried to argue in favor of something called government. In this,
I mean, it's crazy because I've only been an anarchist for a couple of years, but I have those moments. I call them statist moments, because there are times where, like, you know, like I know the state is bad. Like I know the evils that the state, you know, perform or whatever. But there are moments that just pop into my head, and I come up with scenarios and I try to justify things for the state. And I'm like, wait, this is weird. Like, this is like my brain back 5 years ago. Like, I know the answer to this question, but like, I'm still trying, my brain is still trying to figure out a justification for this, like the inconsistencies of my belief system. And I'm like, and I recognize that, and I have them still to this day. And it's so crazy that like your brain is just wired to justify the actions of the state sometimes.
Yep. Larkin, that's not online anywhere.
No, in fact, I think
I'm literally
one copy of it in the world.
One copy of it in the world, and he's thinking of publishing it.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Good.
Hiding in a basement in somewhere.
I would love that. Can you release it at AnarchoVegas?
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
Publish it on the blockchain.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
I can, and I will.
Get royalties.
It's back in Pennsylvania. Sell it as this embarrassing thing. Back when I was.
By the way, this isn't an argument for something. Don't follow this one. Read the most dangerous superstition instead.
Well, I should totally post it. In fact, this is what I was going to do at one point. Is post it as an article and then post my rebuttal to it and not tell people that I wrote the first one too.
Oh, I like that.
Because I like pointing out to minarchists, like, here's this thing I'm going to rebut. And they're like, no, that guy's totally right. And I say, that guy's totally me. Before I actually understood what was going on.
Yeah.
So I should publish it with my own rebuttal to it. That would be sort of
without saying that it's
schizophrenically entertaining.
Yeah.
I would love that to be like your topic for AnarchoVegas, and just like, you know, just like two things up and then just be like, okay, this was this, and go from there and talk about like those statist moments that we all kind of experience.
But like show how close minarchism looks like it can be to freedom, and show exactly why it's the opposite, how far away it is, and what the difference is. Because so many people get hung up on that. They still, and even anarchists will make excuses for that. Be like, well, it's close. And I'm like, anything on the political spectrum is not close. It's like saying something inside of time is close to something that's outside of time. It's not. Right. Like, if you're on the political spectrum at all, you aren't close to freedom.
They have a little bit of a right to rule us. Like, no, it's still all the way missed.
Like, as soon as you have the assumption somebody's got to be in charge, you're already like, you jumped shark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my biggest hang up is more around strategy and game theory. You know, I think there's a lot of you can't really justify collectivism. I think it all has to be from the individual upwards, right? And this is something that I talked about in my speech in Anarchapulco, was that the moment, as long as people are willing to steal, not capable necessarily, but just willing to steal, then there's going to be a cost to defending property rights. And those costs have to be paid by somebody, right? Which is why we have locks and we have doors and we have all these technologies, right? And so really, I think it's a game theoretical problem first and foremost, right? We can make all the moral arguments we want, and that's important. But if you can't defend the moral claim, then there's a lot, there's a big problem there. So I think that's one of the reasons that I really like crypto, because it offers a very pragmatic solution that can possibly sort of take us to more freedom, right?
And you can't debate cryptocurrency. You can't. It just exists, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's not going away. You can pass laws against it. It's not going away. You can argue against it. It's not going away. It's just a fact now. And that's what I think is really important, is for us to create things that are facts. You know, these things exist. There's services or solutions that like you can't get around it. You know, you can argue for all the high taxes that you want, but you cannot tax Bitcoin, and that's just all there is to it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, you could try to hunt somebody down and steal their laptop and throw them in prison for having it, but like
That's a lot of trouble. Just
a
rob
lot of
one person.
yeah, and the thing, yeah, it's a lot, and
over.
you have to get them. You have to get wherever their Bitcoin is. You have to hope you have access to it to begin with. That you have a way, like they left it easily accessible.
Right.
So it's like
you can't get it without.
Even if they get like my Trezor, it's like.
Yeah. Like if the whole world is trying to get you, right? Like if everybody but you get you, you're screwed no matter what, you know. Right. But like that's a pretty high bar, right? Like I think the nature of violence is such that you want to raise the costs of being attacked, and that raises your defense. But then the higher the walls around you, the less free you are. So there's some kind of trade-offs there. And anyway, it's really, I'm thinking about writing an article about this soon. But yeah. Anyway.
Do it.
Yeah, might.
I think that's a great idea. I mean, yeah.
It's like ways, you know, you can argue for higher ticket prices and we need to keep the streets safe.
I agree with
stuff, but like
in that.
People are gonna spend,
I mean,
you know.
Oh, lost your audio there.
Amanda?
Yeah, we lost him again.
They're moving.
They are moving.
Are we moving?
Are we here? Do we exist?
Yes.
La, la, la,
Yeah, you're back. Okay, great.
La, la, la. The movement. Is there movement? Are we here? Oh, we exist. Okay. I don't know if we exist.
The feds are jamming the signal.
Now
we're like weirdly
I agree with what Juan said, but to point out what he said being important, in that I used to think that it was all about, like, it must be all about one or the other. I'd figure out, like, well, is it all about changing the world, like philosophically thinking wise, getting rid of the belief in authority? Is it all about just giving people the tools and then they'll reach for freedom? And now I realize it actually has to be both. Like, the world won't get to a state where it really is evolved at a next level of functioning until it's both, where people pragmatically can enforce their own morality against people that want to violate their moral ethics, and then also don't have any cognitive belief that says they have any allegiance to like an authority just because someone says so. And then when you have a bunch of people that have both, watching those two things climb, like both are working, and a bunch of us are pushing the game stuff, the stuff where you have to like actually look at, okay, tactically, what about actually making our freedom come to fruition the way we want it? Right. So like you have to have both.
But the thing is, after a certain point, the tools don't do any good if people believe in authority.
That's true.
If tomorrow the ruling class said Bitcoin is illegal, there are a number of people that say, well, then I'm not going to do it. Only the people who are willing to disobey authority are going to say, well, we're going to keep doing it anyway, and you can't do anything about it. Same thing with guns. If people turn them in,
I think, Logan, that like a lot of people, even if they believe in authority, that let's say, if you have a hot dog cart in LA and you go out by Hollywood Bowl after a concert and you sell hot dogs on the street and you're selling it for cash, right? Doesn't matter how hard you voted for Bernie and how much you believe in authority, you're still not reporting 100% of your cash. You know, I think that even if people claim to believe in authority, to whatever extent that they claim that, they don't actually really believe in authority. And that's the real truth of it, is that it's a claim, and it's something that they think that they believe, but they don't really believe. And ultimately, people are anarchists to the greatest extent that they feel safe getting away with.
It's not consistent or philosophical, but it's practical.
People are not philosophically consistent, exactly. And we know that people are not philosophically consistent.
Yeah.
So if we can make them feel safer getting away with more stuff, like much more people feel safer getting away with speeding, today than they used to. For example, with Waze, you can be driving down a highway and speeding. You can do 135 miles an hour, and it says police reported ahead. So you slow down, you're doing 70, and you pass right by the speed trap, and then you go along your merry way. And you feel much more comfortable getting away with it. So if we can make people feel more comfortable getting away with it, even though they profess a belief in the state, that doesn't really mean that they actually believe in the state. It's just something.
Yeah, but that's a really important thing, is I'm talking about what they really believe, because it wasn't very many decades ago where people really believed that it was immoral to break the law, and really believed that you're a bad person if you don't report everything and pay your taxes and stuff. So yeah, they're what people say they believe in and what they'll do if they think they can get away with it can be very different things. But you still, like, the more people don't feel an obligation to obey, the more the tools do any good.
True.
People feel it's immoral for you not to pay your taxes.
Right, but for them, whatever, we'll fight.
Right. Make all sorts of justifications. Oh, you know, I didn't make that much money this year. Oh, I've got 5 kids. I'm just gonna, you know, lie a little bit over here so I get a little bit of a bigger tax return or whatever. When it comes to themselves, they're not intellectually honest, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
They're actually,
but that's good enough.
They're paying lip service to the state.
That's good enough. If
people pay lip service to religion too, you know. A lot of people, they go to church on Sunday, but the rest of the time they kind of do whatever they want, you know. They don't feel fear of like lightning coming down and striking them dead.
Yep.
And so it's lip service. A lot of it is lip service.
Right, and that's good enough. If they will disobey when they think they can get away with it, that's easily good enough to basically make an empire fall over.
Yep.
Kind of what happened in the Soviet Union is enough people are just like, yeah, we're gonna have our black market over here until it just goes.
And if enough
people continued paying lip service to the Soviet Union all throughout, right until the moment that it fell apart.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the black market was becoming the whole market, because in action, people were actually anarchists. Like, even though a lot of the people were like, well, there's still this group of assholes over here doing some shit.
Right.
We've all created our network, and we've all bowed out now. So good luck with that.
And again, it doesn't even have to be philosophical. It can just sort of be by default. It can be out of desperation. Like, it's either starve to death or ignore those bastards and trade over here without telling them. And but however it happens, if they get to a point where they dare to disobey and they don't feel any obligation to obey, that's when the state is doomed. And I sort of prefer it if they actually have like a coherent philosophical reason for that. But just anything that makes them go, yeah, heck with.
I think it's funny that, like, Yakov was like, well, he pointed out, like, keep in mind, most people, if they can get freedom for themselves, like, people inherently we are built with free will. We want it. So they go for it. And that's what we point out in Candles in the Dark. That's literally what we talk about, is like, we're revealing the inner anarchist that's in most people. And a lot of the reason the state has any power is because the schizophrenia comes in when it's other people. It's, oh, well, I trust me and I should get to keep everything that I earn, and I don't need the state to be ruled, but you know, those people need it. And if that schizophrenia goes away, then not only do we have, okay, now we have all these people who have no allegiance to authority, but now they're actually willing to extend it to everyone too, so that now when some other new asshole comes in campaigns, they don't want to put him into power too and go, well, we got to have somebody in power for those stupid people over there.
The thing is, though, that we're a bunch of we're 6 intellectually honest people having a conversation. Most people are not really that intellectual to begin with. And, you know, we're in Las Vegas over here, and if you go out to the Strip and you just try to talk to people about anything other than the weather, sports, what whether they're on red team or blue team politically, or whatever other, you know, very simple ground level nonsense that they're into, you know, you can't have a conversation with them. And most people are just totally unwilling to even examine these ideas. You know, the people that you're getting to come into Candles in the Dark are you know, that's
well,
so unique.
The thing is that, yeah, but the thing is, what Candles in the Dark is about, and especially what the mirror is about is talking to all the people who don't like to think about things and philosophize and think about concepts, because the approach has to be different. If people who like to ponder concepts and philosophize talk to the rest of the world expecting them to be the same, nothing happens.
Right.
They realize these people have never thought about anything. They don't even want to. The message has to be tailored to them, not to why don't you think and talk the way I do?
Which is what we teach people to do. We
Yeah.
teach people to tailor the message and the lines of questioning to the particular person you're talking to, and your sort of gauge of what their knowledge is or what they seem to know. And if they don't,
Even if it's none.
And if it's all the way none, and you don't know what your starting point is, usually within a question or two, you can tell how you have to reword it. And this is all, teasers for the seminar, so I'm giving away money here, but whatever. So like, I'm trying to get more people to come. Whatever, it's awesome. Yeah. But like, it's really cool because we prove that it works in the second day, and like these anarchists bring in their totally statist committed friends and sometimes family members who are way older and have been like entrenched in their stuff, and some of them are completely clueless and haven't really thought about politics and don't like politics, but they just bring them in to see how they respond. And we've gotten a whole range of people from homeless men to all the way up to an intellectual who has thought about this and all the way up to the freaking governor guy running for governor or something in Texas, who was also the closest to an anarchist I've ever seen who was running for governor. He seemed to be running as a joke.
Right. But twice we had we didn't have enough of the participants able to invite in statists, and we literally had somebody go out and just randomly take a person off the street and demonstrated that it still works with random people taking it off the street who we have no reason to think, have thought about any of it.
And they'll prove that their inner anarchist is right there, and it'll come out in about 3 questions.
Yep.
Yeah, and I like that that's possible. What I mean is that, and I'm not saying that it's not possible. What I'm saying is that there are like 8+ billion people in the world, and converting them ideologically one at a time is great if we're doing it. We have to talk to our family and friends anyways, right? Like, we have to deal with these.
Yeah, I don't know that this is about converting people into an ideology. I think that's the wrong way to think about it. I think as long as our people are being more virtuous and are willing to hold ground against evil, so to speak, to use really big terms, whatever, we can talk about that. That's fine, right? It's about helping people rise consciously, right? That's the only way that we're going to change anything culturally, is helping people rise. And one of the things that seems to work culturally is stories, right? Narratives. So we need examples of freedom loving people doing great things, and we need to echo those stories, and the media today does the exact opposite, right? It's pushing things in the opposite direction. And so, that the most effective way to communicate really is the story. Philosophy is only for like philosophical nerds, right? Like, most people are not that intellectually inclined, as you said, but stories hit really, really deep for people. And I think that's one area where we could probably become better as thinkers, right?
Yeah, I agree. Hey guys, I actually have to hop off because I have to go to the dispensary to pick up some weed for King. But
Sweet.
I love that. I love that I can say that. I'm just gonna go to the weed store.
It's legal, like it should be.
Yeah, exactly. But it was amazing talking to all of you, and can't wait to see you guys in July.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Bye guys, have fun. I'll tune in the car.
Bye.
Yeah. Right on. Oh.
Yeah.
At some point, are we gonna eat?
Yeah, we probably should.
Eat, maybe we'll never eat. Whatever. We don't.
Well, I'm really excited to see you guys in Vegas. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. We have a range date.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah, definitely some range.
Yes,
time.
range.
Yeah, range time. Yeah.
Range. You said a range date? Heck, AnarchoVegas. We're just gonna drive up. Can I just bring my 12 gauge?
I know.
Yeah.
I found out.
Yeah. I think you guys have reciprocity.
Bring my 12 gauge. I have a pistol grip Mossberg I haven't even fired
I'll,
yet.
I'll totally check the reciprocity if anybody didn't know offhand.
It's like a sin that I fired this gun. Like, I
Wow.
fired this gun like one time.
Yes, bring it. We'll take it
I
out.
love shotguns. I fired plenty of shotguns
when are
in
you
my
guys
life.
driving
Guns
it?
in my life, don't get me wrong. I just haven't fired this one.
Now, you don't, but I have one from Pennsylvania. We don't even know yet.
An 06 Toyota Highlander, probably, my
whatever.
car.
What are we driving or when are we driving?
Did you say when? I thought you said what are we driving?
When.
What? Did you say when or what?
When?
When? Oh, wait.
We don't even know yet.
I hadn't thought that far.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that would be relevant. I don't even know. We haven't thought that far. We're way too disorganized. Our lives are anarchy.
Our lives are total anarchy. We have
Are you having that tank though? In the Highlander.
Cool. Let's do it.
What?
Random trivia. What?
The
How
audio.
many? Did you ask how many gallons I have in my tank?
No, I want to know all the details about your 06 Toyota Highlander.
I'm going to tell you everything about it right now. Ready? Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
What color is it?
Well, it's been well loved. It's been through several
He's a
camping
fag.
trips. It's extremely stained, and it's got over 200,000 miles on it, and it's going like a baby, still strong. There you
It'll
go.
be heavily armed.
Gets you from point A to point B. That's
And
the
it'll
most
be heavily
important.
armed.
Amanda, you bring the shotgun.
You know what I love about it?
I'll throw the clay discs.
Nice.
And I will miss.
And I will teach you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
The myth.
All right, everybody.
Well, love you guys.
I've actually attempted shooting at clay discs before.
All
Bye.
Later.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.
right, take care. Bye.
Yeah.